Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bracketball. Today is one of the most exciting days of the whole college basketball season, and that is the Final Four in San Antonio, Texas. We have 4 elite basketball teams, all being one seeds. They've separated themselves from the rest of the field the entire season. And it's Drew Veach here on Bracketball today, giving you analysis on each of the 4 teams, talking about the games, giving you my opinion and prediction for what will happen tonight in San Antonio. We'll have 2 teams meeting in the championship game Monday. And I can't wait to provide you all the analysis, the best college hoops analysis and information you could ever find on the internet. It's Bracketball here. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. We have 2 exciting games tonight. The first one starting at 5:09 Central Standard Time. So that's where I'm at. It'll be 6:09 Eastern. Really excited for that. It'll be Florida and Auburn. And then the second game will be Houston and Duke. All 4 1 seeds. It's anybody's championship to win. It's one thing to make the Final Four, but it's another thing to actually cut down the nets and be crowned the one and only champion. Let's dive in right on the teams, and let's get started talking about your Final Four starting tonight. We'll get things started with our first game between Auburn and Florida, as that will be tipping off at 5:09. As I said prior, Florida currently is a 2.5-point favorite. They've met once with Auburn this season. They won that game on the road at Auburn, Alabama. This is a Florida team. They're red hot. They have not lost in a long time. They were red hot, won the SEC tournament, and have carried that momentum into March Madness. Their first game of the tournament beating Norfolk State, then UConn, Maryland, Texas Tech to make the Final Four. They had some slip-ups at times, but it was Walter Clayton. 89 points, the most in the tournament this season so far. He's been dominant, hitting clutch threes every time he has the ball at the end of the game. This is a dangerous Florida team, but it's weird. This Auburn team was widely regarded as the best team for the entire season, with the most quad one wins we've seen. Still got the number 1 overall seed, but they are currently underdogs. Bruce Pearl has embraced that underdog mentality. Janai Broome had some injury issues in the last game, but he is back healthy. This is a really exciting team. This Auburn-Florida matchup should be one of the greatest. The Florida currently opens as a 2.5-point favorite, as mentioned before. I will take Auburn to cover that. I actually think they win outright. Initially, I had Auburn and Houston in my bracket. We'll have a moment of silence for the rest of my bracket, but those 2 picks weren't too bad. So this game will be played on CBS. Looking at Auburn, this is a team that has really 6 starters, you feel like. You have Dylan Cardwell in that glue guy spot. Chaney Johnson also off the bench in a glue guy spot. And I really could say it's 7 starters if you count both of those power forwards. You have a guy like Tahad Pettiford averaging 11.7 points per game, the star freshman shooting 37% from 3. Chad Baker-Mazara, 12 points a game, the transfer from the JUCO level. This is a starting lineup that's older than the Oklahoma City Thunder starting lineup. They are a veteran team led by Janai Broome, one of the greatest transfers in the history of the sport, out of Morehead State, averaging a double-double on the season in contention for Player of the Year. We saw Cooper Flagg, we'll talk about here in a minute, who won the AP Player of the Year. Could still see Broome getting some of these awards too. Denver Jones, expect him to have a chip on the shoulder. Saw something on Twitter last week actually ranking the 20 starters in the Final Four, and he was 20th, which is odd because Denver Jones has had some big games this season, a big guard for them. You got to expect he's going to come out hot as well. I really like this Auburn team. I think they are quite dangerous, and I could see them doing some damage. Bruce Pearl is really... There's been lots of just team continuity with this group all season long. Another thing to note with this matchup is Todd Golden, the young coach for the Gators, actually used to work for Bruce Pearl at Auburn. His best friends was Stephen Pearl, Bruce's son. Almost kind of a family friend type matchup here tonight. You got to expect both these guys to be emotional for them, but you really got to think about the chance that one of them will have to play in a national title game on Monday. For the Gators, obviously led by 18 points per game from Walter Clayton, Elijah Martin, the transfer from FAU, 14 a game. Will Richard at 13 a game, and Alex Condon, the Australian, with 10 a game. Thomas Hout only averaging 9.8 in the game on the season, but he was really the catalyst for what led that comeback against Texas Tech. Walter Clayton gets all the praise, but Thomas Hout's been as good as anybody in the country recently. You have Denzel Aberdeen off the bench. Ruben Chinyelu still in a starting lineup role. Great offensive rebounding big. This is a dangerous team, and I expect this to be one of the greatest games we've seen all season. I know everybody's been talking about the chalk in this year's tournament, but I really think the opportunity to see great teams from the SEC playing, it'll guarantee we have an SEC team in the championship game, and that's really exciting. When you look at KenPom stats, Florida comes in at the 2nd overall best offense, behind Duke, obviously. Auburn at 3. Defensively, both are two of the worst defensive teams out of the Final Four squads. Auburn's at 8, Florida's at 10. It's really anybody's game. Florida plays a little more up-tempo than the Tigers do, but I do expect this to be a high-scoring affair. I really like Auburn in this game, and I think we will see Bruce Pearl in the national championship game on Monday night. Moving along to the Duke and Houston matchup, this game will be played at the conclusion of this game. I think this is one of the most hyped-up games I can think of in recent memory. I've been high on Houston all year long. I haven't been as high on Duke because I'm a huge believer in freshmen in March not being able to win, but this Duke team has just proved me wrong. You have Cooper Flagg, Colin Knippel, they've been exceptional. Malu Watch down low. This is a team that has something to prove. It's one thing to make the Final Four, but it's another thing to actually have a chance to win it all. And this Duke team wants to be regarded as one of the greatest Duke teams of all time. What do they have to do to have that happen? They got to win it all. This is a championship blue blood program. You can't just make the Final Four and that be enough. You got to go cut down the nets. John Shire's in his third season. It's kind of a rematch game from the last year's tournament when Jamal Shead went down for the Cougars and Duke came away with that victory, only to lose to NC State in the Elite Eight. Sorry, Duke fans. But that game also set tip off on CBS. Duke, a 4.5-point favorite. I'll take Houston to cover this. I actually still am going to go with the Cougars to win the game. So it looks like I'm taking both underdogs in the Final Four. Probably a little bit biased. I want to stick with my current bracket, which is somehow still intact for the championship game. I really do like the Cougars and what they've done all season long. My thing to think about with Houston is they shoot it way better this year than they have in previous seasons. Kelvin Sampson's always been known for his defense, but this Houston offense is very underrated. Cryer, 41% from the three-point line. Sharp, 41%. Uzan, a staggering 44%. Terrence Arsenault off the bench, 34%. Malik Wilson, 36%. They have shooters, and they make shots, but it's not just that shooting that's really the key strength for the Cougars. It is that offensive rebounding and defense. Jawan Roberts is one of Kelvin Sampson's favorite players. You can just tell. Even said his name's Jawan, but he started calling him J1. The whole team's rode with that. Kelvin Sampson, the one thing he's missing is a national title, and he's even gone on to say it's not the title that defines him. He doesn't even want it for himself. He wants it for the kids. But this is a Houston team that the big college basketball fan in me almost wants them to win just because it feels like a storybook ending for Kelvin Sampson and this Cougars program. He came to Houston when there was nothing going good for them. They just had the past history of the Phi Slamma Jamma teams with Akeem Olajuwon, and now you have this program that he's built. He went to the Big 12 Conference just 2 years ago and is dominated. He's led by L.J. Cryer, who was playing in his second Final Four, a chance to be a two-time national champion. He won one with Baylor back in 2021. Wasn't as big of a part of that team, but this Houston team, he's a red-hot fire right now. 15 a game. He's been great in the tournament. Emmanuel Sharp, another great player. Those three players in Uzan, Sharp, and Cryer is the key for me. You know what Tugler's going to give you. You know what Roberts is going to give you. But what can the three of them do on the biggest stage? I think they're going to be a lot of trouble for those Duke guards, and I'm really excited to see how that plays out. Looking over at Duke again, as good as we've seen in recent memory, one of the highest-ranked KenPom teams ever, coming in at number 1. The thing I question about Duke is how will they perform in a close game. I do not expect them to blow out Houston. I don't think anyone does. They have yet to really be in a close game recently. You can say they only beat Arizona by 7, but in reality, it just wasn't that close of a matchup. There was no point where Duke actually had the pressure on them. They're led by Flagg. Again, I know he is a generational unicorn-level talent, but 18.9 a game points. How will he play in the Final Four? Again, I understand these guys might be built for the NBA. Houston might not have that level of talent. But how will guys play when the lights are the brightest? You're playing in the football arena. You have thousands on thousands of people there to watch. Everyone knows it's hard, really hard to get to a Final Four. But it's even harder to cut down the nets and win it all. This is a Duke team, obviously tootling scores of freshman Knippel averaging 14 a game. Proctor, to me, is the key piece. He's been here before. He's played in tournament games. He's the leader for this squad. They even turned away Jeremy Roach in the offseason to let Proctor have the keys to the offense. He's shooting 41% from 3. He's been lights out in the tournament. Interested to see how these transfers for Duke will play, too. You got to expect those guys like Sion James and Mason Gillis even to maybe step up just because they've been in spots like this before in big games. They're seasoned vets. They're on their 4th and 5 years of college basketball. These have to be the guys that really rally the team around them if something goes wrong with the freshmen. Again, last 2 times we've seen freshmen play in the tournament, In the Final Four, it's been Anthony Davis and Carmelo Anthony that have actually won it all. But we have not had anyone do that since 2012. And I just do not think it's happening this year. I love what Duke brings to the table. Again, Duke, number 1 offense on KenPom, number 5 defense. Houston's only got the 10th best offense, but they have the best defense. Duke with a plus 39.63 net rating on KenPom, as good as we've seen in a lot of years. It's just really impressive what they've done. I'm still going to take Houston and Auburn to meet up in the championship game. I don't love those picks. I think it could go anybody's way. I could see Florida winning it all. Could see Houston winning it all, Auburn or Duke. But I think that's what makes this tournament exciting. You either get the upsets, then you might get a really good championship game. There's always one Final Four team you don't have much faith in. I really think this year all 4 can get it done. And I'm so excited to see what we have tonight in store in San Antonio. That'll do it for another great day on Bracketball. I cannot wait for the games tonight. I'm so excited for all of you to get to watch this unfold just as I am. 4-1 seeds. Only the second time we've had this happen in tournament history since seeding began. The other time's in 2008. Where was that Final Four located? Also San Antonio. That was with my personal fan favorite Kansas Jayhawks cutting down the nets. I love about this one because you can see any of these 4 teams winning it all. The bracket has been in play. It has not been the greatest first couple of weekends as we've seen in recent memory. We have not had the upsets, but it has led to the 4 best teams all season long, and it comes down to 1 weekend, 3 games. Who will be crowned champion? We will see you on Monday, right before the championship game tips off. We will have some analysis for that game as well. Cannot wait to see who handles business. And as always, your best college hoops analysis here on Bracketball. It's Drew Veach signing off. We will see you Monday night.